Atoms and molecules do not exist. They are a fraud. They are fake. They are phony. They are a fallacy. They are unreal. They are imaginary, alleged, supposed building blocks of matter, which are not real. And I will present to you the evidence that I have so you can elucidate it, digest it, process it, and come up with your own conclusions. Again, this channel, Keys to the Truth, is all about the evidence. Everything is evidence-based. And there might be different kinds of evidence, right? There can be, personal experience, there can be historical, there can be bibliographical, there can be experimental, all kinds of different evidence, archaeological, etc. However, you have the final say. My job here is just to share these findings with you, and hopefully they will aid you in your quest for the truth. Nothing more. If you have a comment, you have a question, you have an exception to what I'm saying, please comment. Let me know where I got things wrong, where I got them right, and build on the conversation. Share the ideas so that we can find our way to the actual truth. So what is an atom? What is a molecule? Atoms are supposed to be these tiny little planetary systems, if you will, like Niels Bohr suggested. He got the Nobel Prize for it. So right there, we have two keys to the truth. And it's very important to realize these keys and apply them to our understanding and our everyday life. The key to the truth is not in the conclusions, which can lead to flawed conclusions. The keys to the truth are in the methodology, again, the playbook for research and understanding. So the first key right there would be everything that you're told is a lie. And go from there. Start from there. That's your first key to the truth right there. So if we position ourselves around that assumption, everything that you've been told is a lie, then you can finally start working towards the truth, as opposed to beginning from untruth and then, and you're stuck there. So that's one. And then another one would be Niels Bohr, like who's the guy that came up with this planetary system model for the atom? Niels Bohr. He got the Nobel Prize for it. He is very famous for it. He's very well respected and renowned for it. Bam, that's another key to the truth. Be doubtful, be skeptical of anybody and everybody that's famous, that the system is trying to push on you. So immediately, okay, this guy's famous, this guy, is being pushed, this guy's in the history books, this guy's everywhere, all right? Then that immediately discredits him, okay? And then look into him and then, find out if he had some actual reasonable contributions to humanity, or if he was a traitor to humanity, okay? Selling us out to whomever. I don't want to get sidetracked into all the other subjects here. However, they are tied together, and I'll make a parenthesis there. If you're not religious, that's fine. If you're not spiritual, it's not fine at all if you're not spiritual, but I get it. It's okay. It's beyond the scope of this video right here. But the thing is, these people are selling us out to demonic entities, demons. And so they're traitors to humanity. They're traitors to humankind with all their lies and lies and lies and lies. But anyway, back to the subject. Atoms. The word atom, let's look here at the dictionary, is the smallest particle of an element that can exist either alone or in combination. Okay? And their combination is usually what we call molecules. All right. So, first things first, what is the etymology of these words? The real one. Okay, I gave you the definition, the smallest particle of an element. It's supposed to be this indivisible particle, right? And let's see what atomism is. Atomism comes from the Greek atomon, which means uncuttable, indivisible. Atomon, however you want to pronounce it. It's a natural philosophy proposing that the physical world is composed of fundamental, indivisible components such as atoms. Bam! They just accepted that they're lying to you right there. It's a natural philosophy. It's a philosophy. There's nothing natural about it, so they're dealing in opposites right there, as any evil being would, dealing with the opposites, and that they're telling you it's a philosophy, it's a belief system, it's a way of thinking, it's a bunch of different theories, different theorems, it's a bunch of hypotheses, it's assumptions after assumptions. It's a religion. There's nothing factual about it. So they're beginning from a belief system, a philosophy of said thing, of X, and then they're trying to build this imaginary, fantastic, incredible, unreal world around it. And they're doing their hardest to make you believe in it. And you believe in it. I believed in it up until very recently, because of the mind control that they exert through the very different means. And I don't want to get sidetracked on that subject either. You see how there's all these rabbit holes that pop up? So it's very important here that we know what we're dealing with and we know these definitions so that we can challenge our assumptions, our underlying assumptions, which we were fed at a very early age, and you're unquestioning as a child, and this is very important. You have to become an intellectual adult. You have to become a skeptical adult. This doesn't mean you're gonna go all vinegar and bitter on the world. Okay, on the contrary, you're gonna stay a child at heart, very loving, very dear, but you're going to have to be an adult and mature intellectually speaking, okay? Because I see 99% of the population out there, the grown-ups, and there's nothing grown up about them. They're mentally stunted. We are, speaking in first person, we're mentally stunted from the beginning with all these lies, and that's part of their agenda, okay? So you never grow up mentally, intellectually. They feed you all this so-called science, which is a bunch of lies, and they stunt your growth. I need to do a video on that, but I don't want to get too sidetracked. I'm just giving you the backdrop on the whole story. So they're telling you, what matter is made of, allegedly, supposedly, but it's not true. It's just a bunch of lies and philosophies and Gnostic fables and Masonic fables and CGI, and that's what it is, and we're led to believe that it's true. So here I just gave you that definition, and the molecule would be, the congregation or of these atoms, okay, adding more than one atom together in a chemical bond of some sort. So let's see here. Where does the word atom really come from? The word atom really comes from an Egyptian god, which is Atum. So they change the spelling slightly, so you're thrown off. Okay, that's one of their tricks too. So the Egyptian god, a primeval cosmic god, of course we know it's a false deity, or even a demon. They referred to Atum as the sun god and their creator, the substance from which all creation unfurled. He is the Lord of the universe, blah, blah, blah. He represents the king of Egypt, double crown of Egypt, all this nonsense, okay? So what they're telling you is sun worship. And we know The devil, from a lot of texts, loves to be called the sun god. He's not the sun. The devil is not the sun. And you don't have to be religious or spiritual to keep up with me here. You just have to follow the literature. The devil loves to be called the sun god. He's not the sun god. He didn't make the sun. He's not the sun. He just likes to appropriate things and pretend that they are his creation or they belong to him. And they had these cults, they still do, that worship the sun or worship the moon or worship the stars or worship the earth or worship whatever they want, like false idols. It's the whole thing, so that you're giving your praise and your energy for you guys out there that are energetic and spiritual but not religious. That's fine. I mean, everybody has their own path to the truth, right? This is not about dogma at all. This is not about, hey, there's absolutely, you have to do A, B, C, D throughout the day, and to reach. No. Everybody's life is completely individual and individualized, and God made it that way. So, but the thing here is to know where this word comes from. Adam, it comes from a false deity, from a false religion. Again, they're pushing these things on us. So, do you believe in atoms? Yes, I do believe in atoms. There you are. You're caught in the web. You're caught in the spider's web. You're caught in the delusion. You think you're free thinking, but you're not. Okay? I think, therefore I exist. Well, you think, therefore you're deluded. You're deluded, and therefore you're enslaved. Remember, Christ said, the truth shall set you free. And that rings true to this day, and it will forever, through eternity. This is why this opening our eyes is so important with the guidance of God. This is what Jnana yoga is all about. Okay, you'll hear all about all these other yogas. You'll hear about Bhakti yoga and Karma yoga and Kriya yoga and Astanga yoga and Hatha yoga, all the yogas in the puzzle. But you will hardly ever hear about Jnana yoga, because that's the one thing that they fear the most, is that you open your understanding, which God gave you, your intellect, your mind, your chitti, so that you can pierce the veils of ignorance through God's grace and find your way to Him, to the Turiya Samadhi. I'll do a lot of videos on these. Are all different subjects. I don't want to get too sidetracked here. If you're not spiritual or religious, please do not, go, don't feel, turned off. Just stick to the material that's good for you. I'm very analytical. I love to dissect things, and I'm also, right brain, left brain. This is all, again, a scam. We are all both, whole brained, and I don't want to get into the details of that too much, but it's very important that we know how to mix our art and our creativeness with our analytical dissectiveness of our skills and our mind and our intellect. So we've been kind of brainwashed into divorcing, all these things in our soul, our heart, in our mind, and they're not divorced. Okay, so you can be a Star Trek lover, and you can love all this sci-fi stuff and be very analytical and love the numbers and coding and computers, but that doesn't mean you don't have to be spiritual or creative. On the contrary, or you can be very, hey, I like the chakras and I like the meditation and I like the new age stuff, and it resonates with me, and I like the good vibes, but I don't know anything about numbers. I hate numbers. I don't like math. That's fine too, but you don't have to be, at odds and war with the different shades or polarities in existence. Okay, you don't. They go hand in hand together. So a lot of the tricks they do is they try to get the more analytical, engineering minded side of the population, and they dupe them very easily with formulas, with models, and then they grab them and enter their belief system, and then they're indoctrinated, and they don't know that they're deluded. We don't know, like speaking in first person, because it's happened to me. I'm very engineering minded, but again, now I'm using this tool against, my own mind control and kind of on mind controlling myself, if you will. So you can do that as well. You be like, dissect, analyze, and then synergize, and then synthesize the whole. Okay, so you can find your way to the truth. What about Moloch? Oh my gosh, this is so horrible. I don't even want to read it, but you're probably familiar with Moloch. But if you're not, again, they changed the spellings. They changed the E to an O. They changed the CH to the K. They try to mess with you so you don't figure out so easily. But molecule is a molecule, and they're paying homage here to their fallen demons, their deities, the Atum and the Moloch from Molech. Okay, so the Moloch was this horrible demon where children were sacrificed to, and it's in the Bible. It's in Leviticus 5 times. It's in 1 Kings 3 times, 2 Kings 2 times, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Zephaniah in the Old Testament. It's in the New Testament, Acts 1. So here's another key to the truth. If they claim to be so atheistic, then why do they name everything about around entities and demons and fallen entities and false gods? Huh? You tell me. Why? Why are they so secular? Okay, in their mathematics, in their astronomy, in their fake science, so-called science, and they're naming every single thing theistically. Why is that? Okay, so that's a big, huge key to the truth, which is alerting you to the fact that these people are not secular. They're not atheists. They want you to be one because they want you to stay under their mind control, brainwashing, helter-skelter brutalization of your mind and your soul and in your individualism and all your God-given creative gifts. And they want you to become like an animal, like a dumb, sheep, as opposed to a real human being. Okay, so any human being that is, has a sharp intellect will, in fact, conclude the existence of a creator. It's just part of what it is. And if you're not there, that's fine. Take your time. Okay, but look into it. Do the proper research. Don't just sit back. Okay. So I don't want to read these. They're pretty horrible, but I'll put them on the thing here on the video. Remember, I always do the audio first. They're just talking about horrible things that they experienced, and human sacrifice, which is a horrible thing, and as horrible as it gets. And so this is what you are giving your energy to when you're believing in molecules. Okay? Do you believe in molecules? No, I don't. Yes, I do. It's a belief system. It's a philosophy. They're telling you it's a naturalistic philosophy. It's a false philosophy, okay, of CGI and, just fake everything. So the immediate counter argument to what I'm saying would be like, then what's everything made of? Then how do we do anything? How do we make bronze? How do we make TVs? How do we make cars move around? Well, we do. I mean, we don't just do, but we do with our work and with our minds and intellect and putting A and B together. But that takes us into the trained monkeys scenario, where you're smart enough to put A and B together and you get C, but you're not smart enough to figure out the internal workings. Okay, so it's just like an assembly plant. They, if you're spray paint, you're painting over, you're putting the paint job on the car. I mean, you're not a chemist. You didn't, maybe you mixed the paint, but you don't know about everything that goes into the production of the paint, possibly, right? Or if you're putting, the mirrors on the cars, you might not be like specialized in all the stuff that goes into making the mirrors or the lights or this and that and the other. So there's just so many things. If you're repairing a car, you might know a lot about car making. That's true. That's good. That's because it's a craft. But let's say you're a carpenter, a woodworker. You might be really good at building fences or building chairs or any sort of, doors, anything that's made of wood. But you might not be a good gardener. You might not be good at growing trees. Okay. So what I'm telling you here is that you do not fall for this fallacy where, like, oh, well, if it's not made of atoms or molecules, then it's not real. It doesn't exist. And yes, it does exist because we see it, we touch it. Okay. With our senses, we know things exist and things can be manufactured and transformed. But that doesn't mean that the basic building blocks that we cannot see are what they are trying to make us believe. They are something else, probably. Okay? And I have a very good theory on what that something else is, which I will propose to you in a later video, because otherwise this will take too long. It's already long enough. So it takes. Then we start asking the questions, and that's the key to the truth. Start asking the questions, okay? Be incisive, be aggressive. If not atoms and molecules, then what? Okay, and then you go from there, Try to find the real answers. I think I found it. I'm not going to tell you right now. I'll tell you in the next videos. This is long enough. And I might be wrong. It's not about the conclusion. It's about the questioning, the quest, the discovery. That's what it's about, okay? So you come up with your own lines of research, and please share them. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel, this video. Share it with your scientific-minded people. Share it with your non-scientific-minded people, and let's grow the community, of truth seekers. Why not? Okay. So they're feeding you all these lies, and they're feeding me all these lies. I believe them all my life up until now. Let's see what else we have here. Atomistic fallacy, and they tell you, there's a certain law in the magic circles and in the karma that you have to tell of your intention to the universe, to the creator, to the source, and even to the other side, to whom you're trying to dupe or defraud. You have to tell them, otherwise it's not gonna happen, or you might experience a bunch of karma, bad karma. I mean, you still will. You can't cheat God, but these people, they try to go by the rules of magic. And I'll do some videos on that too. If you don't believe in magic, that's fine. But I'll present to you the evidence. Anyway, they tell you of this atomistic fallacy. And they say that it arises because associations between two variables at the individual level may differ from associations between analogous variables, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what the atomistic fallacy is saying is that if you have, let's say, two white atoms and you put them together, it doesn't necessarily mean that the molecule is going to be white. I'm oversimplifying here, but the molecule or the combination of the particles, the atoms, is going to have a different set of properties than the individual parts. That's the atomistic fallacy. That's what they claim it is, but what it really is they're just, telling you, hey, atoms are a fallacy. Okay, so truth in plain sight. They try to hide their lies, but they also divulge some insights there into what could be the reality. So let's go to the CGI images. There's so many things here. All these are completely manufactured in a computer. And if you have any sort of design skills or computer graphics skills, you can see it plainly. If you do, I invite you to take a good hard look at these, and you'll know immediately that these are all fake. These are all made up by somebody, and they'll admit it. Here I'll put some video and some text to the usual fake science websites, where they actually admit, okay, that these are representations. These are, inferences of what it would look like. Even if they use NMR techniques, or they use nuclear resonance, or any sort of resonance, or scanning electron microscopes, what they're feeding you is a representation. It's a graphic. It's a human generated graphic. It's not a picture. It's not an image. Okay? We cannot see atoms with our own eyes. We cannot see molecules with our own eyes. Can you? Have you ever? Be honest with yourself. Have you ever seen an atom? Have you ever seen a molecule? I've never seen one, and I will never see one because they are not real. Okay? And they can give you all the CGI, all the special effects, but that doesn't make it real. Okay? So you have to be very critical of images, and you have some. I invite you to develop your computer graphics skills, which, for example, I am currently developing, or I work with people that are very good at it. And, when you show them this, they'll go through a stage of cognitive dissonance. But you can tell them, when you ask them, can you do one better? they'll laugh, and they'll probably tell you that they can do it better. So it's very simple. We just have to go beyond, again, our cognitive boundaries and the prison that has been built for our minds. Okay. Here in the summary, we can't see atoms with our eyes or with anything that enhances our eyes, but we can figure out the positions of atoms and render those in a way that we can see. Again, the keywords: render. Okay, so naturally you go and see all these pictures and you don't read it well enough, and they're hiding it from you, and you're thinking, oh wow, these are real images of atoms and molecules. They're not. They're generated. Okay, they're rendered. They're false. They're phony. Okay, they're fraudulent. Atoms and molecules do not exist. Period. End the story. Okay. It is a belief system, just like the planetary fake heliocentric model, and they love to change their hoaxes. So one hoax leads to another. That's why they put forth the Niels Bohr model. They also, people ask me a lot of times why. Well, I agree with you maybe, but I'm not convinced. Why? Why do you have to have a why? If some person killed the other person, they get arrested. They go to jail. They caught him in the act. They saw him doing it. They get him in cuffs. They go to jail. If they never figure out, why did you do it? Oh, we can't figure out why he did it. Okay, let him go free. No, I mean, the why, in a sense, doesn't matter. In a sense, it's the most important thing, but in another sense, it really doesn't matter. Why do you care why? I mean, they're lying to you. You just, get over it, okay, and go beyond it. So, but there's the big why is because they control your reality. It's a complete control of your reality, and so it's like building a highway. If you build a toll road, if you build the infrastructure of lies or infrastructure of whatever, then you have the final say. Then you can take the system wherever you want to take. It's a full range dominance. So then they chain it with the atomic bomb hoax. There's no such thing as an atom bomb or a nuclear bomb or a hydrogen bomb, because simply there's no such thing as atoms. So you see how these lies, they plant the seeds for their lies, and then later down the road they can reap the rewards because you believed it. Okay, you gave your energy to that false god, and and then you're having to pay for it, because you have to pay the piper. Okay, everything you do and you say or do not or don't do is recorded in the Akasha in by the Creator, and you're gonna have to answer for it. So it's just the way this magical realm works. It's a system of checks and balances, and it's infallible. So if you give your energy and your belief to somebody that's false, you're gonna get you're gonna have to pay for it. Okay, it's gonna come bite you in the ass. Sorry about that, but So atom bombs, nuclear hoaxes. You know what they did in the with the new Cuban Missile Crisis? They had everybody scared. They had everybody, in their houses and fearing for their lives from something that was never real. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, they're thriving, huge cities right now, full of tourists. Well, I don't know about right now, but like a few years ago, there was never any radiation there. Radiation hoax. Again, another hoax. I don't want to get into all that right now, but know that they changed the hoaxes, okay? And why? Because they can, and because then it helps them build up other hoaxes. So they have a whole infrastructure of hoaxes and fallacies where you are, the lab rat, okay? You are the guinea pig. You are the hamster in the wheel powering their fake system, okay? Vampiric energy sucking system, okay? So you have to remember the truth shall set you free. How do we get freed from this system, from this trap? With the truth, with the jnana knowledge, with the jnana yoga, with the vidya, with the Vedic wisdom, with the Vedic jnana, with your innate wisdom that comes from God, from the creator, the source, however you want to refer to him or her. God is beyond such small petty things. So they'll have Duper's delight, and then they'll tell you in the model that the atom is mostly empty space, but you're touching the table, you're touching the microphone, the computer, you're touching your hands and your feet and the floor, and you don't feel it as empty space. You can't go through it. So again, that's Duper's delight. They love to just rub it in your face that you're so stupid that you believe these things, that they'll pretty much make you believe anything. Okay, so you kind of have to be, also familiar with lying and kind of, how these things are done, so that you can know. Okay, you have to be sort of familiar with it, so that you can know. Okay, it takes one to know one. I'm not telling you that you have to be a liar, but you have to be able to spot a lie. You have to be able to spot deceit. You have to be able to spot cheating, okay? So that you can, call it out for what it is and get beyond it. So again, do your own research. Look for all the images that you can. Even the scanning electron microscope, alleged images, they're all renders. And, there's really no direct image or picture. They'll tell you in the details. They'll tell you, but you have to be real careful not to fall into the traps, okay? Into the entrapment with the details. They love to entrap the sharp minds with the little minutiae and the details and the graphics, because it's instinctive in your nature. So they go beyond your critical thinking skills. They go. They tell you it's the prefrontal cortex, but that's not it. But they go beyond that into your emotional side. So you're always going to sell people an emotion and the inner child, and then you sidestep the mommy or the daddy in their mind, in their heart, which is supposed to be the gatekeeper. So you guys have to be become your inner child's daddy and mommy here, and stand up for them, and say no more to this BS, to this crap, to this system of lies, and go beyond it. So what makes up matter? What makes up reality? What makes up the manifested reality? What makes up this hologram? It's something else. I'll tell you my theory in some other video, which is making a lot more sense, and I'll show you all the evidence. But for now, you do your own research and let me know your thoughts. I really appreciate you guys. Hope this helps you on your way. Much love for you. God bless.